For years, I thrived in the high-pressure business world, but the workaholic life finally caught up with me. I was 35, very overweight, in chronic pain with severe mobility issues, terrible diet, no exercise. My health was a complete wreck. Then I went to a gentle yoga class and felt truly relaxed. The stress just melted away. I went from a size 18 to a size 8. I stopped getting sick. Pain disappeared. I learned to open my heart and I felt happy for the first time in years. So I said goodbye to the business world and started teaching. Yoga doesn't have to be strenuous. The easiest movements can trigger major release of chronic symptoms no matter your age.
Healing Yoga. Yoga for real people with real problems.
That was my story. Real problems solved by gentle yoga. One big issue the workaholic life created was a constant state of anxiety. Tight chest, racing mind, shallow breathing. Let yoga be your secret weapon to calm your heart, reset your nervous system, and soothe your mind. For many of us, the holiday season is very stressful. Financial strain, social engagements, and sadness can play a factor. Here are some great tips that will help you manage stress so you can enjoy the holidays. So we're going to come into a warm-up pose, tree pose, Vrikshasana. So we take the left foot and we spread the toes out nice and wide. This is a pose that's going to help us focus all of our attention. When we're feeling anxious, we got a lot of energy out here, and we're going to bring all of that energy inside of ourselves with this active warm-up. We're going to take the right leg and turn the toes out, turn the knee out, and we'll just rest here for a moment. Now we'll draw awareness to the ball of the big toe on the left foot and the ball of the baby toe on the left foot and the heel on the left foot. And just imagine that tap roots are growing out of those points in the foot, down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet. So we're really connected to the earth. Everybody's roots are interconnected. It's like rebar. So when we begin to lift the leg up, we're going to feel very secure. And then begin to draw the foot up. Rest your toe pads on the ground and press your heel against the ankle of the grounded leg. Bring your foot up to about calf height, maybe the knee, but we don't want to jam into the knee here. If you're very flexible in your hip, maybe you bring your foot all the way up into the groin. And then we're going to press the leg into the foot and the foot into the leg in a very gentle way at the same time that we're pressing down and engaging the leg muscle here of the grounded leg. So we're going to take a couple of long, slow, smooth, and complete in and out breaths, allowing this energy to come up the grounded leg and loop around the bent knee. So after a couple of runs around this loop, it's like a particle accelerator. We've got all of this energy that's been looping around, and then it comes up the front of the spine. We grow up branches. Maybe the branches are low. If you've got heart things going on, just keep your arms low. You could also be reaching your arms up and out or bringing your hands together. Maybe the elbows would like to bend. Bring the shoulder blades down the back. Squeeze them together as you squeeze the leg into the foot and the foot into the leg. Drop the bent knee side of the hip and squeeze in the long leg side of the hip. And then inhaling, feeling your branches bursting open with leaves, flowers, fruit, and then come back down. And here we are in Tadasana. Now notice the difference between the right and the left sides. And then we'll firm up the right side. Coming into this idea, this concept of tap roots going down really deep. And if you've got some balance issues, just hold on to a chair, hold on to the kitchen counter, maybe a wall will be helpful for you. And then pressing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot, pressing down with the feet. Now just notice your breaths. Take your breaths deep into the low belly. The breath is what saves us when we're experiencing symptoms of anxiety. We follow the breath, we see where it's breathing into the body, we create spaciousness and openness in the areas that are feeling very tense, and we're dropping tension and gripping on the out breaths. Let your heart open as your shoulder blades come back and down, lifting the arms up, feeling your branches bursting with life. Leaves, blossoms, flowers, and fruit. And then coming back to Tadasana. Well, this next series of poses is going to be wonderful for calming the nervous system, for getting us out of this thinking, this repetitive thinking, this ruminating. We're just going to be coming into the breath, coming into crocodile pose. Now you can just lie down on your belly and cross your arms and rest your forehead on your arms, or we could use a bolster to help us support. So let's go into that pose now. We're going to take the knees either side of this bolster, and then the sternum is going to come to the top of the yoga bolster, so just where the ribs come together, and rest the forehead down. So we're getting this wonderful compression of the belly. We're starting to find new territory in the lungs to bring oxygen into the system. You may be feeling like your adrenal glands have been active for a long time. Maybe there's a sense of tiredness, a sense of fatigue back here in the kidney areas. The adrenal glands live right on top of the kidneys. And when we're dealing with anxiety, the adrenals are going. So this is a wonderful pose when we bring breath and awareness deep into the lower part of the back where the ribs come down towards the waist. We take a long, slow, smooth in-breath, breathing in light and spaciousness. And then a long, slow, smooth, and complete out-breath, dropping tension, dropping gripping down into the ground. And then we're going to take one of our legs. We're going into a modified version of bow pose. So we bend the knee, and if you don't have the flexibility in the front of the hip, that is what we use the belt for. And we'd like to get a little bit of an inward spiral going on here. So we're creating a little bit more room in the SI joint. And we're just going to release through the front of the hip. We take a long, slow, smooth in-breath and a long, slow, smooth, and complete out-breath. And then we release and we let go and come on to the opposite side. So bending the opposite knee, taking the belt in the opposite hand, and giving the leg a bit of an inner spiral, again, to create a little bit more space in the SI joint. We're also getting some tension out of the glutes. And when we're in an anxious state, we have a lot of tension deep in the pelvis, in the hip rotators. Let the in and out breaths expand and lengthen through the front of the hip. You may even want to squeeze the glute and resist the foot against the belt and the belt against the foot, maybe engaging dorsiflexion. Heels strong, toes spread wide apart. Yes, releasing. When the psoas muscles are tight, as they always are when we're dealing with anxiety, then the muscles of the diaphragm are also tight. The roots of the diaphragm are also tight. So when we release the psoas, we release the diaphragm, all of a sudden our breaths become longer. Our breaths become more satisfying. And we're getting out of this idea of breathing up into the upper collarbones and breathing down into the lower part of the belly, down into the lower part of the back. Now we're going to warm down and come into a supported legs position. You can take your head onto the blanket and using a rolled up towel, rolled up blanket, or yoga bolster, we'll just support the knees. We'll support the knees. You can let the legs come long. And by using the blanket to create a little bit of a cocoon, we just take a moment to snug the blanket up across the forehead, maybe onto the brow bone, and around the ears. So we're creating this wonderful, safe space so that we can withdraw from all of the thoughts that we've been creating. We're going to be taking a breath practice that is very effective for anxiety, Viloma 2. What we do in Viloma 2 is we take a long, slow, smooth in-breath, filling up the lungs, pausing at the top of the in-breath, and then exhaling the bottom part of the lungs to about a third of the way, and we pause. And then we exhale the middle part of the lungs, and we pause. And then we exhale the top of the lungs, and we get all of the breath out of the lungs, and we pause in that emptiness. And then the in-breath comes, and it feels fantastic. So let's begin. We'll take a long, slow, smooth in-breath, filling up from the bottom to the top of the lungs, pausing at the top for just a moment, and then exhale, exhale, bottom part of the lungs, and pause. Exhale, exhale, middle part of the lungs, and pause. And then exhale, exhale, exhale all of the air out of the lungs, pausing in that emptiness and stillness. And then let the in-breath come. And just see the effect that breath had on you. Now, if you want to take your tranquility pose a little bit deeper, you could take these eye bags and place one on each wrist. Maybe on the heel of the palm would feel good. You could take a sock, fill it up with rice or beans or lavender, and that would help you feel more grounded, help you feel like you could surrender a little bit more to the earth. Resting. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay up to date on all the latest videos. And let me know in the comments section below what other kind of videos you'd like to see.